Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this project we're going to use lots of Anna Griffin goodies to make a thinking of you card. This could be a card for just letting somebody know that you're thinking of them, your thoughts are with them. You could easily adapt it and make it into a thank you card or a teacher's card, something across the board which you might be asked for. So for all the sentiment stamps and stickers that you've got, because I know you all hoard them, you could change it to go with the occasion that you need. Everything I do use I'll put in the description box on my blog. I'm having an issue with YouTube replies where they're deleting my replies to your comments. So just at the moment, if you head on over to Facebook to comment, if you haven't got Facebook, then just hang on for comments because, I'm hoping it's all going to be resolved shortly. So on my blog, all the details of everything that I use will be there. There's so many other projects and information for you, and I'm sure that with it being easy to view, you'll enjoy having a look. So the card that I'm starting with is a 7x5 inch card, and I'm going to show you it on our cardometer so that you've got a rough idea of the size. So that's how it looks, and that will give you an idea at home of the real estate area, as they say, on the card that we're going to fill in. Now this card is, I think it's quite a quick and easy card. There's a little bit of inking and blending to go with it, but I think you'll have this whipped off in no time. I've just used my bone folder across the top of the card to make sure I've got a good sharp edge. Now, as always, we're going to do the inside of the card first. And just to point out that on my blog, because I'm trying to ask everybody basically to watch from my blog, because you get all the details and everything there, but you also get the photos of the card front and the card insert now. So to jog your memory of what we do for the inside, the photos are all there on the actual project page. So I hope that helps. So the first thing I've done is I've cut out a layer for the background. I've run it through my die cutting machine in an embossing folder. And the embossing folder was from the collector's edition from Anna Griffin, and it was the Poppy folder. Once I'd embossed it, I took an ink pad to the top of it and I simply got the colour onto the embossed areas. Doesn't matter how you do this. You don't have to be really neat. You don't have to be gentle-handed or heavy-handed. Just get the colour on there. I used one of the ink pads from the Summer Fall collection from last year from Anna. Then, when I'd inked it and it was dry, I took it back through my die cutting machine with no with the plates, but a piece of wax paper across the top, but no die or embossing folder, because then I flattened the pattern. So the pattern that you're seeing now is more of a flat emboss with the colour that I've put on from the ink pad. I then took it through again and cut out a rectangle from the centre, and to be honest, I used my Spellbinders matting and layering dies. I always use set B for the inside for the first layer, and I find this was cut out from set B, the largest, and then I just went down in increments to cut out the aperture. So, but don't tell anybody I told you. So there we go, that's our first layer, and I've got my aperture for the next layer. So then I took a piece of Anna's metallic layers, the 7x5, and I had a scrap, so it just shows that you can use your scraps, and I cut out a perfect rectangle with an aperture in to fit in our next layer, and this is going to inlay into the previous aperture, as it were. so it will fit in perfectly into that area, like so. There we go. And lastly, I've then got a piece of white card, because I don't know if I've mentioned it, but our base card we're using is white on this occasion. I've cut out the rectangle that fits in the previous layer, so we're inlaying that. I've added double-sided tape on the back of this, and I've also stamped it using one of the Say It Anyway stamps in the matching ink pad that I used to ink the actual embossed pattern before we flattened it. So I'm placing this in the previous aperture like that. So that's our inside, and it's all flat. So it's not going to affect the posting, but it looks really pretty. You've just got enough room for your to and your from. You haven't got enough room for an essay or a big long message. So, because you're just letting somebody know that you're thinking of them. You know, my thoughts are with you, I'm thinking of you, love you very much, etc, etc. Nice short message on there. If you're wanting to send a letter, you know, with it separately. So that's the inside of your card. Now we're going to go to the outside, and I'm just simply going to run my bone folder along the edge again to make sure we've still got that nice sharp crease. So my base layer is an embossed layer, and it's from the same embossing folder that we used for the inside to make that coloured layer. It's from the collector's edition, and it's called Poppy. I've used it on one of Anna's metallic layers in the pale blue, and I've left it the same size as the card, so it's the full layer of the card. Next, I've taken a piece of lilac cardstock from the Perfect Palette collection, and I'm simply going to add that through the centre of our card over the top of our embossed layer, like that. Next, I've got a sheet of glitter cardstock from Anna, and I've cut this slightly smaller than our previous layer in the lilac and added it over the top, trying to get it kind of equal. There we go. So we've got 3 layers on there now. Next, I've dipped into the Favourite Flower collection, and I've picked out 3 gorgeous irises in the pastel blue and the pastel lilac, and I'm simply going to add these over the centre of the glitter cardstock like so, trying to get them nice and symmetrical nearly. I say nearly. There we go. Press you down. And the third iris for the centre, like that, overlapping. There we go. And then what I've done is I've taken one of the vellum stickers from the Artfully Said collection, and I've matted it in the centre onto ivory cardstock, and then a piece of blue cardstock. Now, it was easy to do, but you need to keep an eye on the size that you're using for the centre, and it takes a little bit of wiggling to get it right. But that's how I did it in the 2 colours. I've got 3D foam on the back of it, and I'm simply going to position it over the stalks of the irises like that. There we go. Press it down. And to finish, I'm simply going to add a little blue bow at the top, I think, on that iris there, like that. There we go. And that is our card finished. So we've got the beautiful blue inside with our embossed pattern and our inlays. And then we've got the gorgeous quick front with our 3 irises and our beautiful lilac and the glitter layers sat on top of the embossing. Stands up nicely. Again, it'll go on the mantelpiece, not the windowsill. You never know. You can always hope for the mantelpiece when you send a card. If you ever have trouble sticking onto glitter card, you can always use a little bit of wet glue underneath it. Now, I've not really taken the time and trouble to press mine down, but I know it will stick. Some people have said that they've had trouble with the flock or embossed cardstock. So just add a little bit of wet glue and that will help. So that's our card finished. It'll post nicely. There's a little bit of height in the foam pads, but not too much. It would still normally go in a normal envelope. So head on over to my blog to see, a full detail of everything that I do use. I think it's such a pretty card, very different. We've got a technique in there, nice and quick, and I just hope that you like it. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.